Hello and welcome to Source BioScience here at our Molecular Diagnostics headquarters. I'm here to open up our doors to our new precision medicine facility. So what is precision medicine? It's about getting the right treatment to the right patient and at the right time. Although we do focus on cancer pathology, it's not the only test that we do. We do a range of services. So why don't you come on in? So this is the lab coat changing area. So before I take you through to the lab, quick lab coat change. So this is where your samples all come into the laboratory. We then sort them by sample type and test type. So our precision medicine is broken down into two pathways. We've got one that's more of a cellular pathology and histopathology technique, and then also the sort of nucleic acid testing. So first I'm going to take you down the more cellular process. So this is our microtomy bench. We have trained scientists and BMSs that carry out our microtomy. So we take sections from FFPE tissue, which then go down a particular testing route, and this can either be IHC or fish testing or any other test that we offer in-house. We also have state-of-the-art LIMS system. So this is our laboratory information management system that is bespoke. We basically scan the blocks, which then generate a unique barcode. This can be scanned throughout the entire process of the sample's life here, and it can take you through, so it's got a complete audit trail. So once we've got our unstained slide, it then gets sent down a H&E stainer. So this allows us to be able to have a look at the tissue architecture and also to be able to identify invasive tumour and areas of interest. This allows us to be able to do tumour burden review, for mutation analysis. It also allows us to be able to know whether we need to macro out certain areas in order to get the best possible test for the patient. So your case has just had a range of unstained slides cut, so it's had a H&E performed on it. It can then go down different test routes. So this one in particular is IHC, immunohistochemistry. So this, we have a range of antibodies that we test in-house. Typically the ones that we process are HER2 testing for breast, gastric, but then we also offer others as well, such as like lung cancer panels. So that will be your ROS1, your PDL1, your ALKs, and things like that. But then we're also always monitoring the NICE guidelines to bring in more clinically actionable antibodies. So, without further ado, this is once the slides have been stained. You'll take your slide, and then these get QC'd by a trained scientist, ready to ensure that they're at the top quality. These will then go on to the pathologist. So this is where we perform our fish testing. So this is our fluorescence in situ hybridization. This we carry out on breast and gastric tissue. This is a manual staining process, so it requires extreme technical skill. We then also perform fish enumeration, which is also manual, and we will take you through to the fish enumerator room. So this is the fish enumerator room. At the moment, we've got two fluorescent microscopes. They're attached to the state-of-the-art cameras. So this allows us to be able to see on the screen exactly what you would see down the microscope. As you can see here, the screen is broken up into three parts. This allows you to see your DAPI, your HER2 and your C17. These get enumerated and a ratio is gathered. This allows us to give a more accurate score for HER2. This is also good for training and also for troubleshooting. So that was our cellular workflow. So now let me take you on the molecular diagnostics that involves nucleic acids. But first, quick lab coat change. So it's really key to ensure that we have segregated labs throughout this process. This helps to ensure that we don't have any sample contamination or reagent contamination or anything like that. So our labs are set up in a unidirectional workflow. So this is our extraction lab. So we do a range of extractions here. We do the manual, like spin column based, or we also do automated extractions as well. So anything that sort of fits your profile or your requests, we'll make it fit here. So this is our hatch. This is where we send through samples and reagents come through the other side that end up meeting in the middle to make our pre-amplification reactions. This ensures that we minimise that contamination risk. So this is our reagent formulation laboratory, and this is where we keep all our reagents. We've got laminar flows to ensure that we have a controlled environment and it's completely clean and sterile. So this is our pre-PCR. This is a fundamental laboratory. This is where our samples and our reagents meet and we set up our reactions in this laboratory. This is critical for our mutation analysis service, our toxicity testing, EndoPredict, and many others. So this is where all the action happens. So this is our instrument and staging area. So this obviously has a lot going on in here. We've got our PCR machine. So this is a tetrad, so we can process multiple plates on here. Then we have our Thermo Fisher NGS sequencing package here. So we've got our Iron Chef that does the templating, and then these talk to each other. So once the chips are loaded, these then get loaded into here and the sequencing occurs. We can also carry out qPCR. Here we use QuantStudio 5s. This in particular we use for our EndoPredict testing, but we do offer other clinical tests as well. And we're back in the main laboratory. This is where we do our sequencing, and we utilise pyrosequencing method. This is for our mutation analysis detection. This is for cancer types such as lung, melanoma, and colorectal. We test for KRAS, NRAS, and BRAF in colorectal, NRAS and BRAF in melanoma, and EGFR in lung cancer. As you can see, this is the method that we use. So this is an IDILA platform that we're using. This is a fantastic piece of instrument, and how this works is it's straight from tissue, and this does the extraction and amplification and generates a final report that can be issued to yourselves. So this is done for MSI, also does for MET, RET, and all your fusions such as ROS1 and ALK. So we also generate our reports in-house. These are thoroughly checked by our trained scientists, our BMSs, and our pathologists. This is really key before the results are then submitted to you via our secured portal. So that is just some of our tests given to you in a nutshell. But if you want to know any more information, please get in touch. We are keen to take on any validation, clinical or study work. So we are many solutions, one source.